We're bringing it back. Me and Duke's getting together. We're going to do some more ball talk here on the Prime Time for College Football, a Hog Media production presented by Sleeper. I'm your host, Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the channel. Me and Duke's going to jump right back into it. We're going to talk a lot of ball. We're going to talk Prime and the changes that the team has made, which some of y'all may like, and we're trying to figure out what the other one is. We're going to talk about the college football playoffs that dropped, as well as dive into some of the coaching carousel. So make sure you like, subscribe both channels, and yeah, let's jump right into it. What's good, everybody? We're back. Some ball talk with Dukes and Jay. You know Dukes the Scoop over there. I'm Jay from Unfair Sports. We're going to be talking about some ball. We're going to talk about Colorado. We're going to talk about the college football playoff. Just dropped their rankings not too long ago. And we're going to look at some of these coaching changes. So make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification on both of our channels. Prime Time for College Football, as well as Dukes the Scoop. Dukes, we've got a lot of things to cover, so we're gonna jump right into this bad boy, my man. Let's talk about it. Colorado gets demolished in another embarrassing game. We both put a video out just like, but it sounds like Prime has made some changes. The biggest one right now, Julian Lewis takes the job as the starting quarterback. How you feel about that, man? Like, that, did it feel like his hand was forced and he had to do it?
I think a little bit, yeah. I think he was expecting more out of his first two. No indictment on these as talent at their talent level, but I just felt like he expected more and would have liked to have shielded Ju for longer than he could, and probably put him. He likes to control the variables, and him knowing what it's like for us to have a quarterback as a child who's done the things that Shedeur has done. He's looking at Julian Lewis as almost like his own son. Like, all right, how would I want to do this? So you got to think. Shedeur didn't start in Power 5 football. Shedeur started when he got there at Jackson State. No disrespect to the football being played at Jackson State, but there is a level. It is a higher level of competition. I'm not sure if he would have started Shedeur day one in Colorado. I mean, just being honest. So when you think about the development of a quarterback and what he's already done, I think that he was just looking out, my personal opinion. Now, we got to start him now. This guy, I'm telling you, he's a real guy, but I know what I feel like it takes. Well, guess what? Julian Lewis stepped in and proved and said, Coach, I'm ready. What do you do when somebody shows you that they're ready, right? You give them an opportunity to be successful. He comes in, he goes 9 for 17, 4 out of the 17. 4 of those were throwaways. So you take those 4 aways out of busted plays. You got 3. He goes 9 for 13 on balls and in the field of play. You take away a key fumble, probably leaves another scoring drive. I mean, I'm okay with it. I think that it can. And what I love to see was how vocal Ju was on the sideline. We call him the silent assassin. I call him the sideboard. Even when I see him, like, they go to sideboard. If I see him, he gonna dap me up. He gonna smile and say sideboard. And, I see his pop. Shout out to TC. I see his dad. Same thing. I'm like, well, that was an android. Like, and to see him be so communicative on the sideline, I thought that was really big. And I'm seeing a new side of Ju. The lights have never been too bright for him. And I don't think it stars in Morgantown this weekend either.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the interesting thing. Of all games to pick for them to swap quarterbacks is the one against a team that's showing a little light. They pulled a massive upset against Houston, and so kind of feels like a moment that this could be the turning point for the squad. I was looking at the schedule, right? You had the Arizona game, which honestly, that's their game they should have won. You win that. I mean, you still got Arizona State, you still got Kansas State. And so your goal is to get to at least 6-6 to make the playoffs. And my question is can Colorado do it? I just don't know how much I trust the way they play. Because you said this the last time we talked. There is too much talent on this roster for them to be playing the way they playing. And you're right. My question is, can they get over the hump on their own and get to the point where they can make a bowl game? That's the biggest question, right? Can Juju lead them to that? Will this spark something new for the Buffs?
I think it can, but I think it's going to take Bayard on defense. I think it's going to take one of the linebackers. I think it's going to take one of the defensive ends. I think it's going to take somebody from every position group to say, I got us, right?
Yep.
Somebody has to lead. Omarion Miller has to say, I got us. Jordan Seaton, I got us. Whatever running back, I got us. And they have to meet and say, listen, I'm going to be responsible for my guys. And you have to turn it into a Voltron type effort where, hey, look, you get this, I got him, I got this, and we're going to do our job and be synchronized in doing our job, and we're going to be successful as a whole. And I think that's what it has to be. I think Julian Lewis can be the guy to say, all right, it's almost like a car.
Yeah.
You can have a car that's perfect, pretty as all get out, doors work, power locks, power windows, everything. But if the engine don't work, then nothing works. And so now the quarterback position on the football field is like the engine. The engine don't work. Now sometimes you may have an engine that works a little bit, but everything else on the car, it could be a dump truck. All right. Well, if the engine works on a dump truck just a little bit, you can still dump trash.
Yeah.
But if you got a sports car and the engine only works a little bit, then guess what? That car doesn't get to serve its function. And I think that's the part about having that position. Now, you get that engine working, it gets revs up on that sports car, then you get to see, oh man, the lights on the interior are a little nicer. You get to see the rim spin a little faster. Maybe we may want to drop the top. There's a lot of different things that work as long as the engine is working for the total good of the entire car. And I think that's what Julian Lewis can be for this Colorado football team.
Yeah, I can see that. He could be that spark plug that's needed to really get them going and be the engine that leads them to the next spot. So, but when we talk about that, though, Dukes, this is where things get interesting, dog. Everybody's calling for the head of the guys calling the plays. Right. And Prime had said something that, of course, over there, a lot of people weren't very happy about. I feel like it makes sense for us to talk about it. This is what Prime had to say. Y'all listen up.
I might already change it and you don't know. I don't do stuff and blow the whistles in and make major announcements. Hey, I don't do that kind of stuff. I do it and I let you guys still take shots. You don't even know you may be shooting at the wrong target. So some things take place that you may not be privy to.
At what point would we figure? At what point would they be changes that we do notice, though?
That's up to you to notice them. They may have already happened.
So he's saying that there could be some changes that have happened, and he ain't gonna really tell us much. You think he made some changes, dog? For real? Because I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if he's already taken the play calling away from Pat Shurmur, which is really the thing everybody's saying, right? They're like, hey, you need to switch it up because every time I look up, there's a swing pass being thrown. Right. Don't feel like that's helping him. I don't know if he's made any changes, though, man. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't think that he's gonna tell his boy that you can't call these plays anymore, because even though we have seen Prime make these changes before, he did that with Sean Lewis. You know what I'm saying? He completely moved that out. You think he made a change? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I think he made a change. Now, I don't know where the change is made. It could be run downs could go to a different person. It could be pass downs go to a different person. We saw in Auburn, Hugh Freeze said, I got a first, second, and third down play caller, right? Oh so remember Lane Kiffin took a shot. Lane Kiffin took a shot at that today on Twitter. So you just don't, because we don't really know what the process was in the first place. So somebody being taken out of perfect example. What's a pass game coordinator do? Nobody really knows what a pass game coordinator's job is, or he's the run game coordinator, but he's an offensive line coach. All right, so could the pass game coordinator be somebody different than it was last game? Could the run game coordinator be moved to somebody else? Could somebody be the third down play caller? Could somebody else be the first down play caller? Could somebody else be the time management guy? There are a ton of things that could have changed without saying, all right, this guy's solely responsible for calling the plays. One thing I know, a toddler has a better chance of solving the Rubik's Cube than we do of figuring out the method to Coach Prime's madness. there's a reason that he's done things. There's a reason that he's been who he is for so long. There's a reason that all of these eyeballs are still watching 3-16? There's a reason why Colorado is still a headline, and it's mainly because of Coach Prime. So I think there's a method to why he does these things. So I just sit back and I enjoy the show.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because I mean, that's really what all you can do is just enjoy the show, because that is exactly, there is no method to Coach Prime's madness. So okay, let's take a quick breather. Come back. College football playoffs. They announced.
Hold on, I want to say this. There's a method to his madness. We just don't know it.
Exactly. Because I ain't got no dang clue what the hell this man's thinking. But hey, he created the persona Prime Time years ago, and we know he's got something in line. So let's take a breather. Come back. College football playoffs. Let's jump right into that. Before we continue, shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. If you haven't checked them out for daily fantasy ball, you're 100% missing out. They're hooking you up. They're going to give you $20 just for signing up. Plus, if you decide to play and you deposit $100, they're going to match your at 100% up to that 100. So when we take some picks here, we're going to look over here into some football going on. We got Wednesday night ball. Free pick is Luka Doncic. Definitely taking advantage of that. Let's look at some NFL action here with Cortland Sutton. Now, he's a promo. We're not going to touch him. Bo Nix, though, is the free pick. But I do think that J.K. Dobbins can get something. Let's pick a little Brock Bowers getting a touchdown. I don't think Genty scores in this game. He doesn't seem to ever score or whatnot. But Geno Smith at 212 yards, yeah, we'll take that. But I think he's also going to throw some interception in this game. And give me some R.J. Harvey out here. He's going to score a touchdown. All I got to do is pick two or more players, pick more or less on their stats. And if you hit, you can win up to 1,000 times your money, making game days into paydays. So if you've got the knowledge, check them out. Use our promo code PRIMETIME. They're going to match you at 100% up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. All right, what's good, everybody? Jay Dukes, ball talking. Tells y'all we're going to start bringing this to y'all more often. It's going to talk some ball because there's a lot of stuff going on in college football and a lot of stuff that's interesting. So Dukes, let's look at this, man. The college football playoffs has the top 25 is dropped. I thought this was an interesting 25 to begin with. When you look at this, man, what jumps out to you? What do you think makes sense? Are we in a good spot here?
I just don't see how Miami is 18 and Notre Dame is 10.
Bruh.
I just don't see it. When you look at the grace being given to Notre Dame for 2 losses, now their losses were to Texas A&M and
Miami.
Okay. Miami lost to SMU and I forgot who else they lost to.
Who the other lost to?
And then Miami lost to Louisville.
Yep, Louisville, right? I would venture to say that, okay, Notre Dame lost to the number 3 and the number 18 team. Miami lost to the 15. And so the other team isn't ranked, but not yet.
Not yet, but it looks like they're on their way back to being ranked. But a very respectable playoff team from last year in SMU, and you actually beat the number 10 team. So the quality wins that Miami has automatically supersedes the quality wins of Notre Dame, and Notre Dame is still ranked 8 places better. So
8 places, dog.
It doesn't. That's the one that kind of sticks out to me over everything else. I'm pretty cool with everything else, to be honest. Still a ton of SEC teams. It looks like Memphis would be the group of 5 team that goes. And I would say probably, I think they got it right outside of that so far. What you think?
Miami lost to 2 teams by combined 9 points, 1 on the road, 1 at the crib, and the 1 at the crib was to number 15. You're 100% right. This is where I see a logical fallacy in what they're doing with this, dog. If you got Notre Dame at number 10, losing to number 3 and number 18, you got Oklahoma at number 12, who lost to number 6 and 11, but you got Texas right there at 11, and they lost to number 1, and an unranked team, why is Texas so high in here, but you can't give Miami similar grace?
Yeah.
That to me is what jumped out. And that's nothing against Texas. I figured Texas was going to be one of the first teams out because technically, the way this is set up, these are the first teams out for 11 and 12 because you still got to have a conference champion from the ACC who's not in the top 12. So that if it was today, Virginia would get in. And then you got to have a G5. There's no G5 ranked. The highest rated one would get in there. None of them's rated, so whoever's the highest out of all of them is getting the 12th spot. So Oklahoma and Texas are both out regardless. But that's the thing that jumped out to me, though, is you gave, like you just said, you give Notre Dame that, and the two teams they lost to are ranked. Oklahoma's two teams are ranked. But you got Texas up there, and Miami's much lower, but they lost to number 15 and a team that's 7-3, while Texas's losses to a team that has a losing record. Like, where's the consistency with that? And again, it's nothing against Texas. It's just we're trying to understand the consistency. Florida is 3-5 right now. They lost on the road, yes. Miami also lost on the road. Now, both Texas losses were on the road to Ohio State and Florida. Totally get that. They also went to overtime with Kentucky and Mississippi State. The whole body of work is where the questions come in. That's where all of that stuff should have value. But you're right. That Notre Dame one to me is wild. You're really giving them a lot of grace. For what? Does Notre Dame... They beat South Carolina. I mean, they beat USC. So I guess that's their, ranked win right there? Is that the one that we're going to give them as that's the win that they had that was ranked? Yeah, but everybody else they played else. Now, granted, they still got Pitt, who's 24th, on the road. They've got Syracuse. I don't know what Fran Brown's doing up there, but we'll see.
Hey, man, Notre Dame gets to write their ticket every year, man. That's what it feels like. That's what it seems like. And the bias of what happens preseason, I think is what has to get fixed. I think where you rank guys, maybe you get rid of, maybe you don't rank people until week 4.
Yeah.
Maybe you stop ranking people going into the season, because at the end of the day, that bias seems to travel well into the season. Because right now, if without Texas being preseason 1, are they still 11?
Yeah, are they up there? And right now, they're considered the first team out, right? Like if you look at it here for everybody, they're the first team out at 11 with Oklahoma at 12 right behind them. And like you said, if they didn't finish up as they weren't the preseason number 1 or number 2 with Penn State, back and forth.
Right, Penn State, right.
Them in Penn State, would they be given this much grace after the games that they had? Because the top 25, the actual, AP rankings wasn't giving them that much grace. They're 13 in the AP. The coaches poll has them 13 as well. So, yeah, it's interesting that they're kind of skating into it. But this is what it looks like if things ended today. That's where you'll see a Memphis who's considered one of the higher ones, and you'd see Virginia, because Memphis is number 22 in the AP poll, and then Virginia gets in because they'd be the quote unquote conference champs.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's real wild. I think that if it broke down this way, I think you got. If I would go Georgia. That first round, I would go Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss, Notre Dame.
Yeah. You think BYU would lose to Notre Dame, huh?
Yeah, I don't see it. I just feel like from watching BYU a couple of games this season, they're I don't know if they have the pedigree. Now, one thing Notre Dame does has a ton of athletes. So I just think that I think they will out athlete them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. Because I feel like the true freshman wouldn't be able to hold it up for as good as Bear has been as a true freshman this year. At some point, that luck starts to fizzle away when you go against a veteran defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and I don't think it's not enough game tackling in the world for Jeremiah Love. Like not for them. Yeah, he's a
good point.
real killer. So
That's
quarterfinals, I would have Georgia and Bama. I would go. Give me Georgia in a rematch. Oregon, Ohio State. Give me Ohio State. So that gives me Georgia, Ohio State. Virginia, Ole Miss. Ole Miss, Texas A&M. I would have to see how the season continues to go, but I would probably lean Texas A&M that game just defensively. No defense in that time of the year, and we haven't seen Lane really have that big game win yet. So I would probably go Texas A&M there, and then give me the feel good story, man. Give me Indiana again over Notre Dame.
Ooh, you going Indiana again?
Yeah, give me Indiana over Notre Dame.
Word. So now this would be a rematch of last year's playoffs because Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-17 last year. So that would be an interesting rematch in Indiana. You think they'd win it? Wow. Like I love the Sig story too. Like getting Fernando Mendoza, bringing in all those James Madison dudes, and then just out there slaying everybody in the Big Ten. I guess the question for me is that more of an indictment on the Big Ten, or is Sig and them boys really them dudes?
Man, listen, they got the boy ranked number 3 as the top quarterback at this point. Man, Mendoza, I didn't know the boy was 6'5".
Yeah, when I saw him at Cal last year, dog, I looked at him and said, man, he gonna make a lot of money in the portal.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. So now that I'm paying attention, I'm like, hey, bro, like, dude is legit. So from that point, when you have a guy who can say, the play's breaking down, you're supposed to tackle me and you can't because I'm more physically imposing than you at this level. I think that's important in these type of games. And Sig hasn't had this. He's had some good quarterbacks, but he hasn't had a guy who said, hey, turn around and say, all right, go make something happen. And they can go do it. And we saw it against Oregon. So I think now and Oregon is chock full of athletes. They got $800, $900,000 $1 million players on the bench. So I think that showed me a lot about Indiana's pedigree. Now we can talk now all the rest of the teams in the Big Ten. What you do against those Oregons and Ohio States means a lot, and even the USC's to a certain extent. Yeah. So, man, I think right now I got Georgia in a rematch. I just think for whatever reason I don't think Bama can beat them twice in the same year. I don't think they come out the same way they came out the first time. But shoot, man. So that leaves what we got: Ohio State, Georgia.
Yeah, Ohio State, Georgia, and then Texas A&M versus Indiana. What you got?
If it had to be tomorrow, I'll probably go Ohio State. Give me Elko again, Texas A&M. I like that defense. Give me Elko again. Cassius Howell.
Marcel Reed taking him there. You calling it?
Yeah, I think it's almost like that Baltimore. I think that I don't know. Oh man, I don't know. I just thought about it. You know what? I'm gonna stay true to my quarterback play, bro. I'm gonna go Indiana over Texas A&M. That's what I'm gonna go Indiana over Texas A&M. Give me a championship, a Big Ten championship of Ohio State and Indiana, and give me Ohio State as back-to-back champs. And they loaded, bro. When you go back and you look at Ohio State, bro, they got everything, bro. They got a quarterback. Man, I was talking to somebody earlier, and they was like, man, you can't stop Carnell Tate. He mentioned everybody on Ohio State's team but Jeremiah Smith. And that Arvell Reese has been a revelation. When Caleb Downs may not be your best defender, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Ohio State is loaded, bro. I know for a fact they got a tight end on that team by the name of Jelani Tank Thurman, who doesn't play. He would start at probably about 60. He would probably start about 80% of schools in the country. Yeah. And he's like your third, and he is really good. So Ohio State just has a loaded roster, and I think now Ryan Day knows what to do. And if it started tomorrow, I would take Ohio State.
Dang, that's a big one, man. I don't think I can disagree with you, man. It feels like they're the team to beat. They've shown us that they are them dudes. We just got to find somebody that's going to stop them. All right, let's take a breather real quick. I want to talk coaching carousel. We're going to talk coaching carousel like we've done like crazy because Dukes, your coach got fired. Let's dive into that real quick. Before we continue, shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. If you haven't checked them out for daily fantasy ball, you're 100% missing out. They're hooking you up. You're going to give you $20 just for signing up. Plus, if you decide to play and you deposit $100, they're going to match your at 100% up to that 100. So when we take some picks here, we're going to look over here into some football going on. We got Wednesday night ball. Free pick is Luka Doncic. Definitely taking advantage of that. Let's look at some NFL action here with Cortland Sutton. Now, he's a promo. We're not going to touch him. Bo Nix, though, is the free pick, but I do think that J.K. Dobbins can get something. Let's pick a little Brock Bowers getting a touchdown. I don't think GNT scores in this game. He doesn't seem to ever score or whatnot. But Geno Smith at 212 yards, yeah, we'll take that. But I think he's also going to throw some interception in this game. And give me some R.J. Harvey out here. He's going to score a touchdown. All you got to do is pick two or more players, pick more or less on their stats. And if you hit, you can win up to 1,000 times your money, making game days into paydays. So if you've got the knowledge, check them out. Use our promo code PRIMETIME. They're going to match you at 100% up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. All right, we're back. Dukes, Jay, talking ball talk. Like I said, we're going to bring out this quite often. So, Dukes, real talk though. Auburn's changed coaches? You got Hugh Freeze got let go. Talk to me. How did you feel about that?
Felt like it was more of a win, not an if.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Auburn really did not want to do this at this time, but I always felt like if the way that Hugh Freeze was going to get fired was going to be if the defense continuously outperformed the offense at a very distinct level. And when you put up 3 against a Kentucky defense at the crib, I tweeted it soon. I tweeted it that night. I said, 3 points at the crib ain't gonna go over well, dog. I don't care who said what. That ain't gonna go over well.
Who you is?
Man, look, one of my journalist mentors when I was on the writing side of things at 24/7 Sports and Auburn Undercover is Philip Marshall, who's probably the most tenured beat writer in Auburn. He writes a report and says this is probably about 3 weeks ago. He says, I heard Hugh Freeze ain't going nowhere. Everybody thought he was going to get fired after the Missouri game. Didn't happen. He survived. I was like, shit, you ever see that meme that says, I'm still alive? I was like, that's Hugh Freeze every week.
Every week, dog.
Hey, but I tell you what, that 3-point output, when you have Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman on the perimeter, you got it. I mean, literally, we're talking about $2 million receivers, $1 million quarterback. Let's say you got $2 million receivers. Deuce Knight should be probably around $1 million. That's what a 5-star quarterback costs you these days.
Roughly.
Let's say 800-900, roughly. Let's just call it. But let's say Jackson Arnold, Deuce Knight, Jackson Arnold, 1.2 and 800. Let's say $2 million there. $4 million at receiver. You got a left tackle who was a top guy in the portal. Left tackles run you about 8 to 9 to about $1 million. Let's call that $5 million. You bring Mason Murphy. You got Connor Lew. Let's call that another half a ticket. Let's make that $6 million. Bro, we ain't even finished with the offense. And this is just
talk about the portal players and the 5-star wide receiver and a 5-star quarterback you brought in. Dog, that is a lot of money.
5 stars. That was $6 million in damn near 6 players. You can't spend that type of money and miss. Not miss this badly, especially not when on defense you didn't. Right? You go get Xavier Atkins for a quarter of the price probably of what a lot of people were getting for would be getting for this type of production. And he's out here having a buckets-worthy season. I think the only reason he doesn't get the buckets is because he wasn't on the preseason list. But there's not a linebacker in the country having a better statistical season than Xavier Atkins. Leads the SEC in tackles or 1 or 2 in tackles, definitely leads the SEC in tackles for loss. 7 sacks, leads the SEC in tackles for a linebacker. I think tied for second overall. He's had a phenomenal season. I think he's third in forced fumbles. Nobody's in the nation is having a season like him. And when you do that, and you say, okay, this is what the defense is doing, and this is what the offense is doing. All right, Hugh. And they can talk about Hugh playing golf, and they can say, maybe he wasn't the best behind. And a lot of people thought that I was like, man, Duke, you hate Coach Freeze, and I don't. I didn't like what he said about Damari Alston. I thought he could have phrased it better. But outside of that, I didn't think he was no bad person. But shoot, man, it came to an end. You can't. I think he was really good. I would love to have Hugh Freeze in a fundraising capacity. Love to have Hugh Freeze helping with recruiting. But as the head coach, it just didn't work. And now you got a guy in DJ Durkin who has a bit of a troubled past with a player by the name of Jordan McNair, who passed away while he was the head coach at Maryland. So there was a media firestorm about that. I actually did a pretty in-depth video explaining the whole situation with facts, so people can make their own opinions on this situation. So if you go to my channel, The Scoop of Dukes, you'll see that. But he's got this team energized. Day one practice.
Yes.
And these guys are ready. They're chomping at the bit. The defense was already excited. And what I heard when he was announced, there was kind of like a sigh of relief. There was kind of like a, yes, okay, we got my boy, all right. And it wasn't just the defense. The way that he talked to the offense, and soon as he got the job, he starts recruiting. I thought that was important as well. So
yeah,
we got a big opportunity. If they beat Vanderbilt, you beat Mercer, you play Bama close, I think he has a real shot to get this job. And the new odds have him second in command to get this job, have him in second place. The first odds came out, had Kenny Dillingham first. But now, John Summerall, then Dillingham. I think Durkin was kind of further down the list. He may have been 6th or 7th. He's moved up to number 2 on the odds to get this job. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this job plays out. But, man, best wishes to Coach Freeze. He's got 15.8 million reasons to hold his head up. And I think you'll see him again in some type of capacity because I think he loves the game too much.
Yeah, somebody's gonna go ahead and hire him as an analyst, hire him as an offensive coordinator, something. He's been around too long for anybody to think that he ain't gonna be able to stick around. But I thought that was interesting. But like you said, to me, the one thing I'm looking at is what happens to the players. What happened? Who's going to portal? Because right now you got 3 big-time SEC jobs open. Florida's open, LSU's open, and now Auburn's open. And talked about here before, we know Coach Prime loves the portal. How many players is he going to be going after in the SEC to try to get them to go up there to Boulder? It's probably going to happen. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of teams that's going to be going after these guys. Like there's options. There's a lot of options for these players. But I think with Durkin being the interim and honestly having as good as the defense is, he kind of he to me is the front runner to get the job because his side of the ball is doing its job. Question is, can the offense produce? And that's kind of what my criticisms were of Hugh over the last couple years. It was really just that you're a offensive wizard, you're a quarterback whisperer, and Thorne came to Auburn, threw for 3,000 yards at Michigan State, and he could barely get 2 here. There's got to be something that's holding that up. And then you get Jackson Arnold, and you heard me say it on over here on Duke the Scoop. I've said it before on my channel, Unfair Sports, my other one. I've said that kid needs to sit a year. Do not start him. Let that dude chill for 1 full year. And guess what? He'll probably give you something. Nah. When I saw the video of Hugh Freeze screaming at Jackson Arnold to throw the ball on the drill, I said that he ain't got it out of him yet. Sit that man. And that was in the summer. Just let him sit. Or he going to cost you your job. Yeah, he cost him his job. And it was more of a just being stubborn. It's some coaches have a tendency of, like you said, yes, he probably will forget more football than I know when it comes to X's and O's. But I don't know if he can outdo being common sense. That's the one thing I recognize at this one. Look, you can't coach certain things out of certain players instantaneously. You got to give them time. You got to be patient.
Right.
I get you spent some bread on the kid. You also spent a little bread on Ashton Daniels. Let that man play.
Man.
I mean, granted, it
I'm
wasn't
saying
that good, but
spend
hey.
some money on Deuce Knight. Let that man play, man.
Hey, right. Unless you think that man is. Now, that's where I got a question is Deuce Knight not ready yet? Because
What is ready? What is ready? Is Bryce Underwood really ready? Is he really ready? Or is he figuring it out? You know,
you said that about Julian. Like, I mean, okay, what's ready? Give me a definition of it. Throw that man on the field. Give that man some time.
Yeah, give him a shot, man. Like what? And it's almost like nobody's really. You're never the best version of your driver's self when you get your license, but at some point in time, you got to get out there. You got to figure it out. As a parent, that's a day I'm not looking forward to when Cam goes out and drives on his first day. But guess what? That day is coming.
Brother, when my first two started driving, and I'm telling you, it was okay. Just understand that they responsible. We just gonna pray they maintain that. And you're knock on wood, we got that. But yes, when you get the first one, you're terrified. The second one, you're like, all right, I'll be all right. But yes. And like you said, you're not your best version until after you get behind the wheel. Think about that, dog. Like you practice maybe with your parents for a bit, but when they have to go on their own, they still driving a 5,000-pound killing machine.
Right.
And we just like, oh, you good? Go ahead. Hopefully everybody else around you aren't idiots, and you trust other people. Look, as we said about these quarterbacks, man, sometimes you just go throw them out there on the field and let them get a shot, man. Let them understand you got to make decisions and go. But the Hugh Freeze one, of course, like I said, we kind of expected it. No winning seasons while he's been there. It just was not what at the quote unquote Auburn standard. It was brutal. But like I said, Durkin's done well as DC. I'm already at the point where I believe that he's going to end up getting a job. Right or wrong, he's going to probably get a shot at that head coaching spot. And we'll as long as he can figure out the offense. The question's going to be, who can he go pull in as an offensive coordinator?
Man, I got a name that I think would work out like gangbusters at Auburn. What about Brennan Marion at Sac State?
The go-go offense, huh? Pull him down from head coach to be an OC in the SEC.
I guarantee you he ain't making. Man, give him what you gave Dirk. Give him 2.5. I guarantee you he ain't making 2.5.
No, he probably ain't.
Man, this man, like I'm telling you, he's gonna recruit well. He's moved the ball everywhere he's been. I think Sac State's probably they're gonna win 7-8 games this year. I mean, and then and I don't think it removes his trajectory from still his ultimate goal of becoming a head coach. You go fix the offense at Auburn with Dirk's defense, with the toys they have, man, y'all become a playoff team, and everybody's calling Brennan Marion for sure. So that's just, and he's calling it. The problem with a lot of these offenses is like North Texas. Somebody's gonna have to give him a shot, right?
Yeah,
the way he throws the ball around, but it's going to happen. Can you hide? Does somebody does an offensive genius lose their job and willing to come take a coordinator for you until they get another one? I don't know what happens with Jeff Levy at Mississippi State, but if he doesn't make it out of this year, he's number one on my list.
Oh, he's number one on everybody's list, dog. I mean, we saw him at Oklahoma for years. The man can play.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Brennan Marion's making, it says $150K. So yeah,
give him 2 point, man. Get that man 2.5, man.
Quadruple his pay. Yeah.
You think for $2.1 million he won't come be a coordinator and Auburn can pay it? Get to Brennan Marion, dog. That's my fix for it.
I mean, it's an offense that's pretty innovative. That's going to make other teams have to adjust the way they play in order to do it. So, dog, I think
and give him the weapons that you can get at Auburn.
You over here, look at you. You over here, look at you salivating.
Yeah, man. Hey,
salivating.
Man. Yeah. That's the one I'm going with. They're going to ask me, dude, who should be the OC? Marion. Make them tell you no.
I mean, that's true. That's a good point. You got to make them say no. The question is, would he Would he take that? And I'm going to be honest, man, I think he would, because I think that'll give him another opportunity, because I don't think they're going to approve Sac State moving into division, losing into FBS at all. Like, they've already, not approved it. But you get him over here, you probably bring in Jaden Rashada, because he's probably going to try to bring him with him.
You got Deuce Knight.
Yeah, Deuce Knight already, so you may not even need to.
And the boy he recruits Atlanta like nobody's business. Now you got a guy who can recruit the West Coast. And think about the kids that probably saying, all right, coach, I got you, but man, I just can't go to Sac State on the West Coast. He's already been to UNLV, the guys that he couldn't get. Imagine who he'll be able to get from the West Coast to come to Auburn, plus what he already does in the city.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, well, shoot. Options for Auburn on that one. That's Duke, some Jay. We just hear ball talking, man. We appreciate y'all joining us. Like I said, we're going to try to get this to y'all more often, man. Probably once a week to start. We're going to work on getting you twice a week. And we're going to go all around college football. So check out Dukes. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and bell notification here at Dukes the Scoop. Do the same for me over at the Prime Time for College Football. But yeah, we'll chop it up soon, folks. Y'all be easy.